everybody. Well, today's little video is just basically food for thought. Recently, I've been thinking a lot about relationships in the past, and in observing people's relationships around me, I found that we tend to stick to things that we find comfortable, not things that are necessarily good for us, and these things are relationships. A lot of people, I know, myself included in that bunch, have been put into positions where we find ourselves sacrificing a lot of who we are in order to make a relationship work. And then in the end, when they don't work out, we ask ourselves, why did we put ourselves through that? What was the point? Well, I'm here today to answer what I found out about myself, at least. I was in a relationship with an individual whom I felt took advantage of how much I cared about them, and in doing so really hurt me to a point where I went to seek therapy. It's kind of sad, isn't it? And while in there, I found myself questioning why I stayed in the relationship as long as I did. So what I've discovered since then is that I stayed in the relationship because I felt a need to have someone or something in other cases that feel reliable and comfortable. But my mistake was I entered this relationship thinking we had an understanding, thinking that an agreement had been reached about the terms of our relationship and how things would work out, only to find that it wasn't enough for the other individual and not for myself either. But it was more of a one-way street. I found myself sacrificing a lot of who I was to please this person because I felt I don't really know, an unexplainable connection to the individual. And I think it was because I needed some type of stability. And since the stability wasn't existent in my normal day life, I needed it to be existent in this relationship, and it wasn't. So I molded and I manipulated everything I could to make this relationship seem like it's what I needed. I didn't put myself through this amount of time for no reason. And after asking and talking to other people who did the same thing, we've all basically concluded that we stay in these relationships because we're comfortable. Not because we care about the person and not because we're doing it to better ourselves, but because we're doing it out of desperation, out of a need to have someone else in our lives. So I've been single now for a while, and I realized that I miss not being single. I miss having someone I could talk to about anything, someone that I can hug, kiss, and cuddle with. And, I'm okay not having that, but a part of me misses it, and I found myself reminiscing in those past relationships that weren't healthy. So it makes me wonder what I really sacrificed. Did I sacrifice myself, or did I sacrifice something that could have been good? And I know we all question, we all are curious, but sit through it. Do you really want to stick into a relationship where you find yourself having this agonizing feeling every time you have to see that significant other? I know that I didn't, but that's what it was. It came to the point where the thought of this other person made me physically sick to my stomach. So ask yourself, what's more important? Making that other person feel comfortable and happy, or making myself feel the way I should feel every single day of my life, accepted and wanted? So my advice to people out there who've given their relationship go after go after go, only to find disappointment in the end because neither of you can come to a compromise, my recommendation is to break it off for a while, see how it feels to not have that person significantly suffocating you and pulling you apart. A good majority of the time you realize you really care about that person, and you realize that communication is key. Compromise is the only word you should speak of, and consideration should be taken into deep understanding by the both of you. So those are my 3 C's of relationship: consideration, conversation, and compromise. Anyway, that was my little thing for tonight. It's 1 o'clock and I have to get this makeup off. Trying a new look. Light gold or light silver on the inside, black on the outside with the dark liner. I actually think this look kind of helps me. It makes my eyes pop, which don't get to do very often. Anyway, that was my little splurge. Just if you find yourself in situations that you've sacrificed more of what you're willing to sacrifice, you need to talk to that person. See if you can come to an understanding or an agreement of what you're both searching for in the relationship, and if what you want isn't what they're willing to give, you need to search elsewhere, because the two mistakes anyone ever makes going into a relationship is thinking that they can change the person that they're with, or that they can expect something they know they're not going to have. So if you're going to go into a relationship, know that the person you're going in with now is who you're going into the relationship with. It's not going to be someone you try to fix. And with that in mind, I'm going to say ciao and good night, and look, shorter bit than always. Ciao.